What's up, manifestation queens? This is your manifesty bestie. And you know what? The universe loves when we help each other out. So you've got to help a gal out. If you like my vibe, then please subscribe, rate, and review. But I'm not going to ask you to do this for nothing. No, I'm not. When you subscribe, you are going to do it manifestation style. You're going to subscribe and say, I am subscribing to my best life. And when you hit the 5 stars, say to yourself, 5-star life for me, because no manifestation queen wants a 4-star life. So thank you, queens.
What's up, manifestation queens? This is your manifesty bestie. It has been some week. All Up in Your Biz has been in the Irish Apple self-improvement charts at #1 for a week. It has been in the Spotify charts, which I understand is impossible. And it is now in the global careers chart, which is just insane. Actually, the funny thing is I remember looking at the podcast stats some time ago. I can't remember what episode it was for. And I remember when I was at #3 and I went insane. I was just like, this is the most amazing thing. This is great. I was just so happy. And then I got up to #2 and Rich Roll was which was #1. And then what happened was this. I went down the charts to, 15 and then 25 and then 55 because that's what happens. It's all about your place in the charts is all about how many downloads you're kind of getting around the time of your episode and other downloads on other episodes. So you go up and down. So if your episode comes out on a Thursday and Rich Rules comes out like let's say on a Friday or Mel Robbins, then they're going to get a lot of downloads on their first day. So they're going to kick you out of the charts. But still, as I went down in the charts, I started to feel annoyed, which is totally normal, right? But then I was like asking myself, like, why is this triggering you, like, or making you annoyed? Just you love podcasting, you love talking to people, you love doing solo episodes. So just let it go and enjoy it and stop looking at the stats all the time. The key stats for your podcasting should be, are you staying consistent with the amount of listeners you have, or are you going up, which is great. But if you're going down, then you need to change things up, right? So I'm always staying consistent. I'm going up month on month. So effectively, what happened was I made a promise to myself, no more looking at the charts. Um, but I had seen that Maura Rath at one point was #1, and I sent her on a clip. I was like, you're #1 in the charts. And then Laura Farrington, who has the RUL podcast, which I was recently on, uh, she was #1. And I sent it on to her. I was like, look, you're #1 in the charts. You should, use this to your advantage, which you should. You should be saying it on your social media. And then, but for myself, I just kind of let it go. But what happened then was what goes around comes around. And when you support other people, like they were #1. I had never gotten to #1. I'd been in #3, but there was no sort of jealousy there. It was like, hey, good for you. You got to #1. By the way, there's space for everyone. Laura Farrington and Maura Rath are in the same category as me, self improvement. And we are all friends and we've all been on each other's podcasts. So what happened was I didn't even know I was #1 in the charts, but Laura sent it on to me and said, hey, realize you're in the charts. And then somebody else sent me on the Spotify one. And so just remember, I think it's a really good manifestation tip. And I put it on my Instagram stories. Comparing is a low vibe. Criticizing is a low vibe. Being jealous of other people is a low vibe. At the top, we are cheerleading for one another. That doesn't mean that you can't get a bit like, when you feel like somebody else's brand is just doing amazing and you're in the same space and you're struggling and it's tough. Yeah, we can have those days. And if you feel like it really triggers you, like it really just makes you flat, and it might not be the case that like you're jealous of them or anything, but you're just almost a little bit sad for yourself, well, unfollow, right? Just do yourself a favor and unfollow them. And I want to tell you this. Okay, I'm in the charts. I'm number one. I'm in Spotify. I'm all over the place. I'm on social media. I've literally in the last week gotten messages from very big Irish entrepreneurs private messaging me saying how consistent I am and how well I'm doing. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is amazing. These are really quite big names. But what you don't know is this: I get rejected on the daily. I get rejected all the time. So this just happened to me recently. I really want to set up an event next year, a move, manifest, makeup, and mingle. Did you hear that? Move, manifest, makeup, and mingle. You've heard it here first. Effectively, what I want is to create this massive event for International Women's Day, and it'll be like a fitness part, and then it'll be a manifestation workshop, and then it'll be a makeup kind of class, and then it'll be a mingle around all these stands that like are owned by Irish female entrepreneurs, like the Smoot Stick and Femme Fuels and Fiona from Away with Nature and Smudge Studios, all the females that I have either collaborated with or that I know, or any other Irish female that entrepreneur that wants to be there. So I reached out to two kind of well-known fitness people, very well known, and they put me in touch with their agents. One of the agent just didn't even respond. It's like, yeah, no, you're probably too small for her. Okay, fine. The other person put me in touch with her agent, and the agent and I set up a call. We set up a call for a day, and when the call started, he didn't join. So I sent him a message and I said, "Hey, are you going to be late for the call?" And he said, "Oh, sorry, can we reschedule for another day at the same time?" So I said, "Fine." Rescheduled the call. 7 minutes into the call, and he didn't join, and I was just like, "Screw you. See ya. Goodbye." And honestly, I do not take that personally. I just say, "I don't want to do business with you anyway." And so goodbye. And I honestly think in my head, because I'm so delusional, like, you're going to be sorry. You're going to be sorry. And you know what? I want to work with people who want to work with me. And I get rejected all the time. Like, do you know the amount of people I have messaged to be on my podcast who haven't responded? There's a lot. Like, a lot. Like, to the point where it's almost embarrassing. I have emailed them so many times. But you know what? You'll get a response. You'll get a yes from somebody. And actually, some of the bigger, more global names, pretty big names, have actually responded to me. And they haven't said, what they've said, a couple of them have said, "Hey, I'm in the process of writing a book. I'm really busy. Can you reach back out to me in 2025?" And you know what I say to that? I will be back to you. To me, that is a yes. Like, no to me does not mean no, it means not yet. It's the same first two letters, N-O, it means not yet. So, but if you screw me around and you don't join a call and all of that sort of jazz, well, then I'm done with you. That's how I feel, and then I move on next. Like, I don't need to hang out with people who just don't want to hang with me. So, like, let people go, unfollow people if you need to. And remember, I get rejected all the time, all the time.
If you want to manifest your dream life, then what are you waiting for? Pause Penny has created an amazing manifestation box to help you manifest your dreams. It is backed by neuroscience, 7 simple steps, and the box tells you how to do it all. Grab your manifestation box at pausepenny.com and use the code podcast20 for 20% off.
So today I wanted to talk about a couple of other questions that I've gotten in for this solo episode. And the first question is, how do you build the discipline of manifestation? You might do it day one, but forget to do it the next. Okay, this is a really good question. Discipline. Manifestation is a lifestyle, it is your vibe. You will have heard me say that over and over and over again. Motivation is only going to get you so far. Like, think about it. Think about when it's the new year and you make a decision. Oh, I'm going to journal every day and I'm going to exercise every day. And it lasts a week or 2 weeks and then you're done. Motivation will only get you so far. You have got to say to yourself, I am worthy. I am going to manifest my dream life. No more making excuses and breaking promises to myself. That is what you need to say to yourself. You need to make a decision and say, that is it. I am done. I am done not living my dream life. I am done with this movie. This is not my movie, and I am done, and I am changing it up. Now, you can't say that one day and then the next day you're, you know, forgetting to do your gratitude, not saying your affirmations, skipping your workout, snoozing your alarm. The key is to set yourself little tasks. So if you make little tasks for yourself and you complete them, you can move on to bigger things. If you tell yourself you're going to get up in the morning 3 days a week and you're going to exercise, and after the first week you start hitting snooze, you start missing your gym sessions, then how are you going to fulfill any of your bigger dreams if you can't even do the little ones? You have got to make promises to yourself and keep them. Why are you not? You are the most important person. Nobody else gives a shit about your success. Did you hear that? Nobody else gives a shit about your success. You do. So when you make promises to yourself, keep them. You have got to keep them. And that just takes a little bit of discipline. But it doesn't have to be so hard. Stop overcomplicating manifestation. I know there are so many books, there's so many people who talk about it. There's just so much going on, but stop overcomplicating it. So this is what I would suggest. Every morning you're going to practice gratitude. You don't forget to brush your teeth, so don't forget to practice your gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, have your grateful card beside your bed. It's the first thing that you do in the morning. So keep your grateful box beside your phone or whatever it is at the side of your bed and be like, okay, the first thing I do is I practice my grateful, because it has to be when you're practicing manifestation and you want it to become part of your lifestyle, you have to create these easy habits, you know, easy little simple habits. Like, I know when I get up in the morning, I turn on the coffee machine and my grateful box is on my kitchen table. So that is where I do it. And the other thing that I found that's really helpful when you're manifesting is accountability. So we're in the 21-day gratitude challenge. We're on day 12. There was a morning there last week that I was so tired because I had been working really late. And I know that if I didn't have the community to wake up and post on my stories what my grateful was, I probably would have skipped that day. So if you can, start with a friend, start with your husband, or if you have a partner or a husband, but they have to also be in it. So you have to agree together that you're going to be consistent, or do it with that friend that you know you're not going to break. So create the habits. Like, if you set an alarm, you can choose what your affirmation is for your alarm. You can like rename what your alarm is. So my alarm this morning was, I am abundant. Make it, I am grateful. So you wake up and you do your grateful while you get your coffee, the first thing you do every single day. No excuses. And then the other thing that you do is you do your affirmations. You can pop onto my Instagram page and you'll see what affirmations I have. Today is I surrender and let go, right? And you can write that at the front of your grateful card. So, gratitude affirmations, and then your manifestation. You have the Pause Penny 7-step manifestation box, right? Keep it at your bedside every single night. It is your reminder to take out the cards. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Which is your 3 of the 7 cards. You look at them before you go to bed. You visualize what you want. Visualization is key to manifestation. So, all I'm asking you is to do 1 minute in the morning of a grateful and visualize yourself to sleep, which could be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. But you have to create an atmosphere where you're keeping it consistent every morning, every evening without fail. And you have to ask yourself, do I really want this? Do I really want to change my life? Do I really want to live my dream life? Is it worth it for me to spend 5 minutes a day doing this? Ask yourself the question, do I want to change my movie? And if the answer is yes, stop making excuses, get yourself together, make your grateful card every morning and visualize in the evening, and that is it. And yeah, and some days you're not going to do it and you may forget or you're busy or whatever, but get back on track again. It's not an all or nothing sort of thing. Get back on track. And with the gratitude box and the manifestation box, you can take them on vacation. They are the best little buddy box. You go away for 2 weeks and you've got 2 weeks of gratefuls while you've been sitting on the beach somewhere. Or you can throw your manifestation and boxes in your bag. It is so easy. So at some point, you just have to remember that manifestation is your responsibility. You either want to change your life or you don't. You either want to make excuses or you want to take action. It's your choice either way. So that is that question. Second question, how important is the way you frame your words when you're manifesting? It's so important. What you are telling yourself is going to be true. I can't do that. I'm so tired. It's so hard. Okay, more of that then. It is so important when you're manifesting that you have the ability to change up your mindset. Rewire the brain, flip the script. Flip the script. So like just like I got rejected during the week, well, really ghosted, right? Ghosted on the calls. What would you say to yourself if that happened to you? Oh my God, my social media is following is so small. They clearly are not interested in me. I'm not good enough to work with like the big names. Yeah, typical me. This always happens to me. Nobody wants to work with me. Did I say that to myself? No. Do you know what I say? Your loss. You're going to be sorry. That's what I say. And that's building confidence in yourself and your abilities. I don't think anybody is better than anybody else. Just because you've got 350,000 followers or 1 million followers, it doesn't mean you're better than anybody else. So, building that confidence and the way you talk to yourself. And again, going back to gratefuls, going back to affirmations with that, what you're saying to yourself on a daily basis is important when you're manifesting. Question 3, what if it just isn't working? How do you build the resilience of patience? Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not going to give names, but if you know me well, you're going to be able to guess who this is. So, manifestation works. It absolutely works, and you can manifest your dream life. You can. But you've got to believe in yourself, you've got to let go, and you've got to have a little bit of patience. If it's not working, that might be just what you're telling yourself. Ask yourself this question. Are you just being impatient? It may happen in time. It will happen in time if you believe and you let go and you have that bit of patience. If you are being impatient, of course it's not going to work because it means you don't believe. You don't believe it's happening and you're trying to control the timing. Because if you believed it was going to happen, you don't care when it's going to happen. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. So you can have all the patience in the world. I fundamentally think the reason why things have been going quite well for me recently and in Pause Penny um, has been because I'm not on a timeline. My whole life was a timeline before. It was, when am I going to meet my soulmate? When am I going to have the baby? When are we going to get that house? It was always a timeline, a timeline, a timeline that I was trying to control. And I've recognized that once you let go, it will flow. So I'm not in a rush with anything in my life anymore. I am just trying to enjoy the journey. And I think that that helps. So for me, there is somebody that I have been manifesting that I want on my podcast for a long time. Even before I had the podcast, I was like, I want this person. I want to meet this person. And I even have a pause penny box in a bag, a manifestation and a gratitude box for her, specifically for her. And I've been visualizing, visualizing, visualizing. And then I found a way to connect with her. It was a roundabout way, think outside the box sort of way. It wasn't directly her, but it was somebody else that could connect me to her. So I reached out to them and I sent them a message. And guess what happened? They said, send me your number and she will call you. And I literally screamed the house down. I was like, "Oh my God, this person asked for my number. Like, is this like this is insane." And then after 2 weeks, I didn't get any call. So I followed up and I was like, "Hey, still haven't had the call from this person." And they said to me, "Well, she did ask for your number, so you know, you just gotta wait." And she gets a lot of these requests. And in the message, when he said she gets a lot of these requests, I thought, oh, it's definitely going to happen now. Because if it's rare, it happens to me. And a lot of people would read, she gets a lot of these requests as, yeah, well, she gets so many of them, it's never going to happen. But I don't. I read it as, yeah, she gets a lot of requests. And it's so amazing that she's going to respond to mine. But she hasn't called yet. So I have to let go and remember that she is going to call at exactly the right time and exactly when it's supposed to happen. The issue is that my phone never rings, and now when it rings, everybody texts you. So when I do get a call, I literally my heart jumps out of my chest because I think it's her. Like and then it takes like 5 minutes for it to slow down. So anyway, I'll let you know when it happens. When it happens. And I never say if it's going to happen. There's no if in manifestation. You've got to reset that mind like that second question. When it happens. When it happens. And it's going to happen. So having patience, practice your gratitude, say your affirmations, have a sign. So like let's say I've said this one so many times. Let's say, I don't know, um okay, so I'm going to choose a sign now today for this person to call me. What is the sign going to be? I'm going to make something up. It is going to be an owl. Keeps coming into my head, so I'm going to choose an owl. Okay, so anytime I see an owl, so a rare sign, I'm going to be like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So it just helps you raise that vibe a little bit. I already bought myself a card. It says dream big, and that's the card that I'm have for myself for this person as like, yay, pretending that it's going to happen and she's going to call. I've written it down in my manifestation box. I have it beside my bed every night. I visualize. So you've got to convince yourself that it's going to happen. And you have to ask yourself, why is it not working? Is it not working because, like, really ask yourself the question. If you're impatient, ask yourself why. Why am I impatient? Why can't I wait? And if I am impatient, then it's because I don't trust. I don't trust that it's going to happen. So you've got to build that trust. You've got to convince yourself that it's going to happen. You can do that with your affirmations. But I promise you, anything that I've ever manifested in my life, whether it's been the soulmate, the twins, the dream jobs, my house, it was always at the point at which I had let go. And I was like, I am letting go. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And convincing, 'cause some things are harder to believe than others because maybe you've been challenged so many times, you keep getting knockback after knockback. So you've got to convince yourself. And you do that through visualization. Visualize it. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between real and visualization. So visualization is absolutely key. So that is it, queens. High vibes, happy manifesting. You can do this. No excuses. Get your shit together. If you need to be in a new movie, be in a new movie, change up the script, rip up the old script, start a new script. It is your responsibility. It's totally in your control. So, high vibes and happy manifesting.